Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am up close and personal once again, and I am here to share with you my 10 sources of income. Before I get into this video, let me just say this was a video that was highly requested last year, and I had promised to film it early this year. I have clearly dragged my feet for about 10 months, and I did that because I was nervous about sharing this information. I was also quite sensitive about not wanting to make anyone feel a certain way. I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. We're all in different financial situations. And at the end of the day, I decided, you know what, I am going to go ahead and make this video, and I'm just going to keep it really casual and cozy, just like this. And the reason why is because I think that this channel is most useful if it's informative, if it's motivating, if it's helpful. And yes, we have a lot of fun here and we talk about pretty things, but for the most part, I want this to be a place where we can share openly and learn together. And I know that nowadays we're talking a lot about this high inflationary environment that we're in. I did a video a few weeks ago, I'll link it up above, where I talk about what's happening in the US economy and how everything is becoming more expensive. And I touched on the idea of increasing your income to really create more buffer within your lifestyle. And so this video is going to go a little bit deeper into that. I hope that it gives you some ideas, and I hope it opens up some thoughts around how you could potentially find different and new ways to add sources of income for yourself. So I'm also going to share with you ways that I made money in the past that I no longer do, simply because my interests have evolved over the years. But again, I'm hoping that it'll spark some new ideas for you. So let's get started. The very first source of income for me is my job. That is not YouTube. You guys know, if you've been here a while, YouTube is not my job. This is simply my creative outlet. And we've now grown because of your amazing support. And I do make some income from YouTube, which I'll talk about later, but it's not my primary source of income. So it's my job. I have a traditional corporate job, and I've been in my field for about 20 years. So I've climbed the ladder, so to speak, and I make a pretty healthy salary. So salary and bonus, I'll just lump that together as my first source of income. My second source of income is from real estate investment. And so my husband and I, we jointly own property here in Manhattan. And fortunately, we've been able to receive income every month from our tenants. And we've got amazing tenants. We've had only amazing tenants that we're really thankful for. And so every time they pay us rent, we pay the necessary bills, and then whatever is left over is profit. So that is one form of income as well. That is kind of like another job. I am the person that manages everything related to that property. So if something breaks, if there needs to be a repair, if we need to repaint before a new tenant comes in, if I need to negotiate something with the broker, all of that stuff, maintenance, upkeep, everything falls on me, which is fine, because when I was a child, I always had dreams of being a real estate mogul. And clearly I'm not at mogul level, but it's fulfilling a tiny bit of my childhood dream. So happy to do that. Then my third source of income comes from stock investments, and I'm going to break that into two separate categories. First category is simply from capital gains or appreciation. So that is when you buy a share in a company, you buy stock low and you're able to sell it high. So make believe I buy 1,000 shares in company X, and the share is $22 at the time, okay? And then few months or a few years down the road, the share price goes to $36. Well, that's a pretty nice spread. And so I'll kind of weigh the pros and cons and do my calculations to see if it's worth it to sell at that time. And when I do sell, that spread is my profit, right? So that's another source of income minus taxes. One quick thing to keep in mind here in the States, at least, if you do buy and sell and you make money in that time, you do get hit up with 20% capital gains taxes. So on that profit amount, it's 20% capital gains taxes. So I do generally try to have a longer term view on my stock investing. I'll try to hang on to my shares for at least 2 years to avoid the capital gains taxes. But again, it's sort of a calculation at the time to see whether or not it's worth it, if I think it's going to continue to go up or if it's going to drop, and no one can really time the market. So The vast majority of my stocks are invested in index funds and very stable companies that I know will likely do well over decades. And so I'm not touching most of it. Most of it is in my retirement fund, and I'm just gonna stick it out for the long haul. I've talked about this in the past, but I do have a small basket of stocks that I do like to play with, and it's essentially like a gamble if we're being honest, because the stock market is somewhat of a gamble if you're gonna do it short term. You guys know I'm invested in LVMH. So I am invested in certain companies that I know enough about, and I see their financials and their track record, and I might think on a short-term level, I can buy and sell and make some money. So that is it for capital gains on stocks. The second category within stock investing is dividends. So I have sought out specific companies that offer higher than average dividend payments. So dividends are paid out usually on a quarterly basis, and it's kind of like steady income. And I can either pull out that money for usage, or I can reinvest it back into buying more shares. So that is another category of income. Right now, with savings interest rates being so measly, finding shares of companies that offer high dividends that might give you an extra 2-3%, that is something to consider. All right, so touching on savings rates, that is my fifth source of income. Even though savings rates are quite low at the moment, they're hovering at about 2%, even lower if you're gonna go with a traditional brick and mortar bank, which I don't. I only do online savings banks because of the slightly higher interest rates. So I do have a chunk of money there. You guys know that I set aside a pretty healthy percentage of my income to automatically go into my savings. This is separate from retirement. This is separate from our college savings funds for our kids. This is more just savings for savings sake, for emergency and for the future, for dreams, goals, things like that. So that goes into a liquid savings account. And like I said, if you are going to do that, then just Google really quickly to find an online savings bank, because they will give you stronger interest rates than what you're seeing at like places at like Citibank or Chase. Measly, it's going to be less than 1%, so really low. All right, so far we covered my job, real estate investment, stock capital gains, stock dividends, savings interest. So that's 5 sources of income. We're halfway there. So the next category of income comes from being a content creator. I have my YouTube channel as well as Instagram. And so from YouTube, you might notice when you watch my videos, from time to time there are ads that appear. And when you watch those ads, I get paid pennies, but it's okay. Pennies add up by the number of views from Google AdSense. So that's the first source of income that I get from YouTube. Also on YouTube, sometimes I feature items that I've purchased that I really like, or some of my favorites, and I can link affiliate links down below my description box so that you guys can easily shop for those. And so if you click on those links and you make a purchase, you pay the same amount that you normally would as a consumer buying from anywhere else, but I do get paid a small commission from the brands as a thank you, I suppose, for spreading the word. I'll be honest, in the beginning when I first started my YouTube channel, at least for 2 years or so, I was resistant to providing affiliate links because I just felt like it was so commercial. But then I realized after some time that whenever I featured a favorite of mine, or I was wearing something or using something, many of you would reach out to me individually, either through DM on Instagram or by leaving a comment in my comment sections and asking me, where did you buy that? Where can I find it? And so I would have to individually respond one by one and say, oh, it's from here, or I bought it there, or it's no longer available. And I found, wow, that's pretty time consuming and not very efficient. So just in the past year or so, I decided I will provide affiliate links whenever possible. Of course, if it's a custom item or no longer available item or very hard to find, I won't bother. But if it's readily available and you can find it using my link, then I do try to share, and it's kind of a win-win. By the way, when I do that with certain brands, it might lead to sponsorships and free items that they give to me as well, and then I can feature more on my channel and you guys can see more of what's out there and not have to pay a dime. So affiliate links is another form of income, and I just mentioned sponsorship, so that is another form of income related to YouTube. So now that my channel has grown a bit, we're at 30,000 subscribers. You guys are amazing. I can't believe we're at over 30,000 subscribers. It's insane, mind-blowing to me. I'm still a fairly small channel. I think I'm considered like a micro channel. Definitely not huge like those big influencers who have hundreds of thousands or millions of subscribers, but I'm so happy to have you all here. So now that my channel has grown, you'd be surprised how many brands and companies reach out to me on a weekly basis. I get at least a handful of emails per week, and 99% of them I ignore or I say no thank you to because they don't speak to me, they don't resonate with me, and I don't want to put anything out there that just doesn't feel authentic. I want to remain myself and only showcase things that I find interesting and that would be interesting to you guys, that would make sense for you guys. So most of them I just vet through and I say no, 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 no. Once in a blue moon, you will see a sponsored video. And I will be very transparent always about that and say this is a sponsored video, so I'm getting paid for it. And usually it's like they send me a handbag or they send me an item to review and I have pretty much free reign to say what I need to say. If there are strings attached or a contract, I don't go with them. I don't. There have been a number of brands where I said yes, then they would send me all these stipulations and what I had to say and what I couldn't say, and then I would say, you know what, never mind. Unfortunately, I'm not comfortable working within those parameters. So the ones that give me free reign and are generous, then I will be generous back and do a full in-depth review so that it'll be helpful for you guys in exploring new products and new brands. So that is another source of income. Then on Instagram, I have about 20,000 followers, and Instagram recently, over the last year or so, introduced a program where content creators can earn bonuses, bonus payments. It's really not much, but still it's something. Bonus payments for creating reels. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with reels, they're just like 30-second or 60-second clips of videos, and it's quite smart in terms of how you can quickly edit on your phone very easily. If I want to show something in a very efficient manner and not go into great detail, I will create reels and I will upload them, and based on the number of views, I may get a bonus. So that is another source of income. So just to sum it up, the ways that I make money as a content creator are Google AdSense, affiliate commissions, sponsor fees, and Instagram Reels, those 4. So we are now on my 10th source of income, and then I'll quickly go over some of the other ways that I made money in the past that I no longer do. So the 10th source of income is very easy that I think anyone can do, and that is to sell my unused or old items, whether it be my children's baby stroller, whether it be their travel crib set. I mean, these are real things that I've sold. Toddler bicycles, my old clothes, handbags. So I sell through consignment shops here in Manhattan. I sell through ThreadUp, which is, not very, the amount of money you can make through selling on ThreadUp is quite low, but if you're going to get rid of these items anyway, why not? And then they responsibly recycle what's, not accepted. So that works for me in terms of like sustainability. There's that. So there's consignment shops, there's ThreadUp. I've also sold a ton on Craigslist where I'll post and a local resident will come and pick it up from me. And I've sold here a few times. I think I've had 2 vlog sales for items that I'm no longer using or, I feel are not worth keeping because they've been sitting in my closet and I'd rather let them go and make someone else happy. So yeah, selling items that you no longer have a need for rather than just hoarding them and keeping them in storage boxes or in the back of your closet, that is money sitting there. So that is another source of income. All right, so that is it for my current 10 sources of income. And then in the past, I also made money writing on a blog. So I had my own blog for many years and I basically made pennies, but yes, I did have a blog. I also had my own stationery business where I did wedding invitations and baby shower invitations. It was actually perfect timing because my husband and I had just gotten married and all of our friends were getting married around us or having babies. So they ordered their invitations through me. I worked with third-party vendors and I earned commission. So yes, I had a wedding invitation and stationery business. I also did calligraphy on the side. So I did do calligraphy for a startup company. There was this one day where I was sitting around thinking to myself, is there anything I could do on the side that wouldn't be too hard and too time consuming, and I could just make a little bit of extra money? Because at that point I had scaled back my hours at work because I had two little ones. I had two toddler and preschooler at the time. And so I was like, oh, I just want to dabble in something else. I was scouring through Craigslist and I stumbled upon this startup company that was looking for someone with lovely cursive handwriting. And I was like, I have nice handwriting, I can do this. So the founder of the company came to see me. He made me write out some stuff in front of him, both in print and cursive. He liked it, so I started working for them. And I would just sit there until my hands cramped up, writing stationery and love letters and birthday cards and all kinds of messages for this company that was sending out gifts to their customers. Another thing that I used to do years ago was micro loans. So I am a big believer that if you help someone from the ground up, they can take a micro loan and go do something for themselves, purchase something that generates income, start a business. So I would connect with various organizations that offered micro loans, meaning I would loan money and I would get paid interest as they, are on a payment plan to pay me back. And usually these are folks that have really bad credit scores or no credit history and are not able to borrow money in a traditional way. And so it's kind of a risk for me to loan. And in some cases, the loans weren't paid back, but for the most part they were. So that was another source of income. I stopped doing that because the laws and regulations changed around it. And then it got a little bit complicated and I didn't want to read up on all of that. So I stopped. The other thing that I did, and many of you might already be aware of this if you follow me on my Instagram, I think it was about a year ago, I started offering consignment. So if you had a handbag to sell, you would send it to me and then I would sell it for you because I have a following. And if one of my followers purchased the bag, I would earn a commission. And it was kind of a win-win because it was fun for me to see all your bags coming in. And the buyer was always happy because it was always much lower than market rate. And the seller, you guys would be happy because I would be charging a really small commission compared to like Fashion File, right? It'd be like a fraction. But it became quite time consuming and I was honestly feeling bad that boxes and boxes were coming to our place and then, it was like kind of making a mess in our living room. I was always going to the post office and I just felt like I needed to take a break. So I put up on my Instagram that I was taking a break. I have a separate Instagram page for it. And that break has turned into a long hiatus and I don't think I'm gonna go back to it just because it is quite a lot of work on top of everything else that I'm doing as I have my husband and my kids and I'm very involved in my kids' school as well on top of everything else. So I was happy to help, but I have taken a pause, maybe a permanent stop on that. But also that there is money to be made there as well if you're comfortable flipping things or doing consignment services. And other things that I have considered in the past but I haven't done are helping others with resume writing, resume prep, because that would be very easy for me. I just, I've been in corporate for so long and I've written so many resumes and I generally help a lot of friends and family members with that, so for free. So that is something I could have done, but I just, for whatever reason, I didn't do. And then coaching. I've been asked to provide coaching, like life coaching, financial coaching, and I am open to it. I do a lot of that already for my job, but I don't know if I want to add that to my plate at the moment. But if you have a specific expertise or an area that you're very comfortable talking about and you think it would be of value to share your knowledge with others, then you can open a coaching business, start a website, do virtual sessions. That would be, pretty cool. And then the other thing that I have considered and I'm still dabbling with is writing a book. My husband has written several books. I would write very different type of books. Probably children's books or something, I don't know. I've just kind of been daydreaming about it, but if I write a book and I put it up on Amazon, I would make money that way as well. So lots of thoughts constantly percolating. As you can see, I've dabbled in a lot of different things, and who knows, 5-10 years down the road, I might not have a YouTube channel, I might have something else going on. But it's all good and fun, and I like to have diversity and variety, and this way I feel like my brain is being stimulated, but also I'm not depending on one source of income and feeling anxious about that. So I do hope this video was helpful, and I really hope that it sparked some new ways of thinking about how to increase your income. You guys probably have so many talents and gifts that you're not using, and if you can tap into some of that, how beautiful would that be? So hope you enjoyed the video. Please give this a thumbs up if you did like it. And if you're looking forward to more content like this, do let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to my channel, mostly we talk about luxury and frivolous, pretty things and shopping, but I do sprinkle in a lot of personal finance and how to be mindful. So if you like this, please subscribe and join our community. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.